your screen, Taiwan has, over the last day, emerged as the front line in a geopolitical showdown between the United States and China. We're going to bring you more coverage on that. Right now, what we showed you was U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit amid multiple warnings coming in from China. Now, the U.S. representative, she met the president of Taiwan. You can see the president of Taiwan on the right side of your screens. During the visit, Pelosi assured extended support to the country on all fronts, be it security, economy and governance. Pelosi also urged the world to recognize Taiwan's leadership and choose democracy over autocracy. Remember, in the case of Taiwan, China has long claimed that the island, which calls itself self-ruled, China has long claimed Taiwan as its own. Taiwan's president lauded Pelosi for her Taiwanese stand. She also termed the U.S. a devoted friend. Meanwhile, irked by these developments, over the last day, we've seen China take a number of initiatives. First, they initiated trade sanctions against the Taiwanese economy. They also conducted a number of drills. Now, my colleague Abhishek Jha is with us live this morning to bring us a lot more context on the show about everything that we've seen go down in the last few hours. Let's go over to him to understand more. Abhishek, good morning. Abhishek, we just saw Nancy Pelosi interact with reporters, and you had one reporter in particular ask her a particularly interesting question. He asked her that since your visit, China has introduced a number of economic repercussions for the country of Taiwan. His question was, how does America plan to make up, and can America make up for how Taiwan is going to stand to lose because of this visit? What did you think of her answer, Abhishek?
So it looks that USA and Taiwan, they have already had a good, great partnership, if you can say, in terms of economic trade and cultural linkages. In fact, Taiwan, we know that is one of the, place which also produce a lot of electronic gadgets, and the chip manufacturing is also very much concentrated in Taiwan. This is a small part that is also used in most of the automated equipments across the globe. In fact, the manufacturing industry across the globe have been impacted with the scarcity of these chips. So these are the small but very important manufacturing units that Taiwan has, the technology Taiwan has, and the kind of support from USA Taiwan has. It can actually become a very crucial partner in the global supply chain. This is what USA has been thinking of Taiwan in a long-term strategy. If we talk about Chinese side, there is of course going to be a certain economic coercion from Chinese side to Taiwan, which of course USA must have calculated, and they have factored in before Nancy Pelosi would have decided to visit Taiwan. And the solidarity that USA is trying to express with Taiwan in terms of sending number 3 in US hierarchy, Nancy Pelosi, to Taiwan, will actually be realized only if USA makes up for the losses that Taiwan will have in case of Chinese sanctions and trade barriers that China has announced that they will be putting on Taiwan. So we'll have to see how much of support on ground in terms of economic support USA will be having to Taiwan. For now, the political support seems quite quite strong with the visit of Nancy Pelosi. Taiwan's the ruling class is certainly emboldened the way they have always been, that they are a self-ruling state. But we'll have to see how much of balance USA will be now making between China and Taiwan, because China is also very important trade partner for USA, is also very important if we talk about the strategic and security interest of USA. So how much of balancing act USA will have to make between Taiwan and China, that is something that we'll be waiting for and looking forward to in the days to come.
Abhishek, I also want to ask you, earlier on the show yesterday, we got to speak to an analyst, and part of what he said was that when we take a look at the drills that we've seen in the last few hours that China's done, or even the economic sanctions, his point was that this might just be a precursor. He said China is the kind of country that possibly has a long-term plan when it comes to the actions they could take against the United States because of the situation in Taiwan. Is that something that you agree with? And if so, what action could we possibly see China take in the next few months?
So, the remark that we have seen of Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, yesterday talking to reporters on the about the recent visit of him on Shanghai Cooperation Union's foreign ministers meet. He said that the countries globally have supported one China policy. In fact, he also said that USA is trying to play Taiwan card. So probably this is something that China has always expected, and they have factored in when making their policy and all the naval maneuvering that we have seen in the recent days that China has been doing in and around Taiwan. So all the things that is happening has been very much calculated from both sides, China side and Taiwan side. But now, since USA has already played its Taiwan card, if we talk about in terms of Chinese side, now the question is how China is going to respond. Currently, it looks like the heightened military tension that we have seen in the in and around Taiwan Strait, that is going to be a very symbolic gesture from Chinese side. But we must not make any mistake in considering the fact that China will not stop here only at making some symbolic gesture. It will also put certain ground actions as well. And who will be most impacted with these ground action if we talk about military or aggressive stance of China in South China Sea or East China Sea, or the trade barriers that China will put in and around Taiwan. Also, we know that Chinese side has been very much keen on buying Russian oil in the recent days, which has actually helped Russian economy keep afloat in the wake of Russia's war against Ukraine. So probably if China and Russia they join hands together in terms of economic partnership, that will have a huge a ramification for USA's war against USA and NATO's war against Russia in Ukraine that we have currently seeing. So a lot of geopolitics and geo-economics is involved in this visit. We'll have to see how in the days what actions Chinese side will be taking, because USA has already played its Taiwan card, but now it will be the time for Chinese side to put across its line of thinking, to put across its strength that it has always claimed that it can have, and we'll have to see in which ways and in what ways these announcements or these coercive actions will come from Chinese side.
Okay, Abhishek, thank you so much for that clarity. For our